So we're here to talk about top 5 wide receivers for 2026 and beyond. Now, this is a fun topic. It's a topic full of twists and turns. We're going to be discussing what wide receivers might have some changes going on in their situations. So there's a lot to go over, a lot to digest, and I realize that things are going to be volatile and changing, ever flowing, ever changing for a lot of people watching this months later from now. Right now, for context, we're all walking into week number 15 of the 2025 fantasy football season. JSN's the best receiver in the league. Burrow and Jamar Chase and the Bengals are struggling. CeeDee Lamb got injured, but is potentially going to be able to play with the past the protocol and get into the lineup for week 15. Lots of things moving around walking into week 15. So this might look different a month or two from now. Understand that. But we'll be back to refresh it if it doesn't look right. That's what we do here on the Dynasty channel. So let's go over the top 5 Dynasty wide receivers 2026 and beyond. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. Thanks for joining a Graveyard Stream.
You're watching a
Graveyard Stream.
live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Dynasty Fantasy Football Show.
Let's put Dynasty on the screen for any people that get confused walking in here. Some people just, they don't read or they don't really understand what they're doing. They meander on in and go, I don't understand why you don't have so-and-so. And it's like, bro, did you realize we're doing Dynasty? All right, so here it is, top 5 Dynasty. Appreciate everybody in the chat. We've got Jose in here. Golf is in here. Husseini's in the building. Daniel, Blackbeard, Nate, Caps, Rome, Mario. Appreciate you. Travis is in the building. Jose, Michael, Zach is in the building. Golf says, not sure if you know Smitty, but you've got a great Best Ball Mania 5 team with Robinson, Pitts, rooting for you, man. Yeah, I got that team right here, ironically. I was looking at that earlier. Real quickly before we get into that, let's just take a gander at this squad. I have this team right here. This is the Best Ball Mania, one of the ones that I have that have advanced. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Penix Jr., you win some, you lose some. Cam Ward, it's a good quarterback duo that I have there. Bijan, RJ Harvey, Brian Robinson, Charbonnet. It's a great squad. JSN, Hunter, Burden, Michael Wilson, Kyle Pitts, Trey McBride, Harold Fannin. That's a squad right there. The only concern I have is like my wide receiver 3. Michael Wilson is doing work though. So that's, this week's a tough matchup, but that's great for the next 3 weeks. And then really it comes down to Luther Burden stepping up. Hunter's out. Kyle Williams was trash. Yoshi Voss, I don't know what he's going to be able to contribute, but that's a good squad right there. Harvey, Bijan, that's a good team. Zach Charbonnet. Imagine if something happened, not wishing injury upon CMC, but if that opened the door there too. Man, it is a good squad. So very, very much hoping that team can bring home the Thunder in Best Ball Mania. If anybody wants to do a Best Ball draft, Underdog promo code Smitty. Hit that link I'm about to drop in the live chat and draft on Underdog for week 15, 16, 17. And more importantly, drafting for, 2026 here very shortly, right after the NFL Super Bowl. We'll be jumping straight into drafts. So get ready for that. All right. That link has been dropped. I'm going to pin that link. So anybody wants to, or actually I can't pin it right now, but anyway, we'll take this team off screen, but that is a phenomenal team. That's got a good shot, real good shot. Let's get into it. Guys, Dynasty wide receivers. Everybody toss out. We're going to do this group think style. I might maneuver things a little bit myself. But drop in the chat who your number one and put the number by it. Because later on we might get somebody's watching a delayed replay and they're voting on the wrong rank. So put 1 and then put the wide receiver's name. Who is your number 1 wide receiver in Dynasty? Is it JSN? Is it Jamar Chase? Is it Neighbors? Might it be other? Probably not, but it could be. Husseini dropping a $5 super chat here on the Dynasty channel. A couple questions. 1, can you draft for Dynasty anytime, or you have to wait until season 2? You can draft whatever you want. The app you would want would be Sleeper, though, because they'll probably be ready to go. ESPN probably doesn't open up the ability to do it, but you should be able to do it at any moment in Sleeper. You just got to, I don't know what you'd have to do it on. You might have to wait till they create 2026 leagues. They might wait until like February, March, but you could always do it on a 2025 league, start it up, draft it, and then just convert it to a 2026 league. There's ways to do it. Husseini, thank you for dropping this. Appreciate you. JSN is getting a vote here. JSN, come on now, says Zach. Zach, it's not a come on moment. There's no come on man needed for a Jamar Chase JSN vote. It's very, very close. Snoopy smiling. Golf says JSN. Keep voting in the chat. I think at this point, there's a couple things you got to consider. And we talked about this on the other live stream, talking about JJ, talking about all these other players, is we have kind of some turmoil for Jamar Chase because Joe Burrow, and we did a whole live stream on this. Joe Burrow came out yesterday. By the time you're watching this, maybe 2 days ago, because it's striking midnight. But Joe Burrow came out and had some pretty dark comments about if I'm going to continue to keep playing. If I'm going to, it just seems very, very bleak. He's going through some stuff. Are you going through stuff that's football related or personal? Both. And if I want to keep playing, I got to have fun. And everyone's like, what does he mean if I want to keep playing, if I want to keep doing this? What's he talking about? He's not retiring. But there is a point where we believe it's a shot across the bow of the organization to say, fix it this year. Joe Burrow's contract is impossible to get rid of. The dead cap is ridiculous. I think this is Joe Burrow's dead cap for his contract. It's $102 million walking into this year, so that was obviously nothing could be done there. And then it's $56 million next year if you see this 2026 line that's right here. So 2026, Joe Burrow is I'm sorry, 26 right here. This 2026 line, Joe Burrow, $56 million dead cap. They can't move him. They can't trade him. They can't do anything with him. So he's there. But this, I don't know. It's got to be fun. We got to have fun for me to continue doing this. That's his shot over the bow of the organization saying, let's fix it this year. Not let's fix it and then not have a chance to see it fixed. And then he's not talking about weeks 15, 16, 17. For those watching right now, we haven't seen week 15 play out yet. Just the Thursday game. Week 15, week 16, week 17, the playoffs, all that's to come. And Joe Burrow's not saying fix it now or I'm gone in the offseason. He's saying fix it, and then we play. And then if 2026 doesn't go as planned, then maybe he's going to complain. Maybe he's going to make a stink. Maybe he's going to make a fake cry wolf of wanting a trade unless they get him what he needs, and then they get him what he needs and he backs off. You know what I'm saying? Like so Chase isn't in that big of a turmoil or revolving door situation where his quarterback is. Everyone wants to panic and cry about this situation, but it's probably going to be fine. As far as JSN, he's too got somewhat of a volatile future because his quarterback is not great. His quarterback is good. He's a good quarterback. He's efficient. The most important thing about JSN's quarterback situation in Sam Darnold is that they are perfect for each other. Sam Darnold feeds JSN. Similar to how Kirk Cousins fed JJ. We were all kind of curious. I think even Perps was curious. I was curious. We're all curious, just like we're curious to watch a train derail. And then when it derails, we wish it didn't. We're like, wait, I didn't think that went through. Someone could get hurt, but I'm a human being. And I'm like, oh, this train on the track, what if it derailed? It's watching a train crash, watching any sort of disaster. Wanting to see a tidal wave, and then you worry about, well, wait a minute, that wasn't good. Everybody wanted to see Kirk Cousins somewhere else. And I'm not saying Kirk Cousins staying would have been good for years, but everybody wanted to see what would happen to JJ if he got another quarterback in there. What could happen? Could the Vikings win, get over the hump? Well, everybody got what they wished for. JJ didn't have a passer. They got rid of Kirk Cousins. And it's been disastrous. So there is concern that what if JSN doesn't have Darnold back? Darnold's not necessarily going to, in my opinion, march this team through the playoffs like everybody hopes. Maybe they do. Maybe the defense steps up. Maybe Darnold looks really good. Darnold's good enough to win a championship game. Darnold could go straight through because Seattle could carry him, or they could help each other. Darnold could go straight through and win a mother freaking championship game. He could be NFC champion QB. That's how good Seattle's defense is, and the entire team is very, very well coached. It's fantastic. JSN's the number one wide receiver, number one, number two. So there's a world where we do exit 2026, even if they lose the Super Bowl, even if they lose in round 2 and they win round 1 and everybody's excited about Seattle and they still look really good, even though Darnold didn't win the game, he didn't look bad, where we run this thing back, of course, next year, and then JSN's back in the amazing categories that he's leading right now, and he's the number 1 wide receiver in the league. There's really no more risk of one over the other, except for I do think Joe Burrow is more secure than Sam Darnold. But I, at the end of the day, for me, JSN's producing too crazy to not put him here. Jamar Chase has trouble staying healthy. Joe Burrow's got trouble staying healthy. The Bengals have trouble winning games and starting off hot, and they start off slow. They don't make the playoffs. This makes sense to me to say that the risk here, despite the quarterback situation feeling more secure, obviously, the risk here is a little bit more volatile than the risk here. This team's winning. This team's doing great things. This team is stretching the field. This team has good coaching. So I can understand this with the risk involved in the injury concerns that come along with the Bengals players, Joe Burrow and Chase. Chase tied to Joe Burrow, Burrow tied to Chase. This is more than just can Chase get injured like JSN. Darnold could get hurt too, but this is really Joe Burrow can't stay healthy. So I'm probably going to say it's JSN right now, Jamar Chase number 2, or at the very least, this is a tie. And we move on to number 3, and we don't have a number 2 because they're tied. Like, I could see that. But if right now we just go ahead and put it here, this makes a lot of sense. JSN's only getting better. JSN's fantastic. The chat voted. The chat has kind of all over the place. Chase, 2 years younger, but JSN will be 2. What else we got here? JSN, and Chase. And Travis made a really good point. He rotate. Travis, you can call in. If anybody wants to call in, you can call in while we debate this. I have no problem with that. This is Husseini, appreciate you again. And somebody dropped a super chat. Was that Husseini super chat? Couple of questions. Can you draft Dynasty your round number 2? Which app is best for Dynasty on ESPN? So again, if I didn't say it clearly, Sleeper is the best app for Dynasty, for sure. All right, so who's number 2? Who's number 3? Jackson Smith-Njigba is the number 1 Dynasty wide receiver. Jamar Chase is the number 2 Dynasty wide receiver. The number 3 Dynasty wide receiver, in my mind, it's so easy to sit here and go, Neighbors is hurt. He's got a good situation. Dart is exciting. Scattaboo's exciting. Detroit is exciting now. Dart's almost winning and doing good things without any weapons at all. I really, really love Neighbors. And Neighbors, look at what Watson's doing coming off his ACL tear. Now, everybody's different with an ACL recovery. But Watson is looking phenomenal. We didn't even think Watson would play this year. That's how late he had his ACL cert. Watson looks phenomenal. I'm not saying that there isn't some setbacks that Neighbors could have, but when you suffer an ACL tear, the younger you are, the quicker you bounce back, the more you have almost zero difference or effect on you moving forward. Neighbors is so young, his ACL will make him 0% lesser. I'm not saying at first there isn't some struggles. He could have a setback. He could need a cleanup or something like that. But I'm just saying a year or 2 from now, it will mean nothing that he had ACL surgery. He'll be exactly as good as he was before his ACL tear because he's under 25 years old. He's under 24. Any player under the age of 24, like if you're 21, 22, 23 and you tear an ACL, it's nothing. Priest Holmes had multiple ACL tears. Look how good he was. Adrian Peterson, ACL tear. So many running backs had ACL tears. So many. James Cook, Dalvin Cook. I mean, the list goes on and on. Jamal Charles was so good after his ACL tear. It's not even a problem. Priest Holmes had multiple ACL tears, and it just doesn't matter when you're that young. Now, I think Lamb, there's a case to be made that Lamb is the number 3, but there's also a case to be made that mother freaking Pickens is going to impede on that potential trajectory. Puka Nacua wants to retire at 30 years old, not 31, not 30 turning 31. He's made it clear he wants to retire when he hits the age of 30. That he might play one more year when he turns 30, and then that would be an extra year. And it's a long time. You still got a long time to play football. But Puka Nacua also is in the locker room every single game practically. 50%, at least 50% of his games this year played, because he's missed time too. 50% of the games that he's played, he's in the locker room at least 50% of them. That is crazy. He plays aggressive. I don't think the style of play is conducive to playing a long, healthy, elite season year after year after year. It feels very Cooper Kupp-like in terms of how he will drop off kind of quickly, maybe after 3 years or 4 years. And it also feels like he's very much tied to Matthew Stafford and McVay. And if, let's say, Stafford can't play next year, even though he's playing great right now, he's got a horrible back issue that isn't more about the disc. It's about the degenerative issues that he's dealing with in his back. So Stafford is very, very much, if gone, a huge blow to Puka's value, especially dynasty value. And you're not can't expect the same exact production or volume going on in LAR. Even if Adams slows down or leaves or whatever, Puka Nacua, even if that is out of the way, without Stafford would be regulated to who knows what. So I can't put Puka here. I think the other player that we have to consider in this territory, we still have to consider Nico, but we're probably not going to pick him. We still have to consider Rashee Rice. We still have to have the conversation of JJ, but I can tell you right now, JJ, until he gets a quarterback, can't play in the top 5. But if let's just say they're not going to get Herbert. Let's say they traded for Justin Herbert. Guess where JJ would rank? 1, 2, 2, 3, minimum 3, probably 2, probably tied for between 1 and 2. JJ with Herbert with an elite quarterback would rank right here or here. Everyone knows that. Anybody that knows ball knows that. But right now, we've seen a whole season of him with multiple quarterbacks. He can't breach the top 10. He can't breach the top 30. So how in the hell is JJ going to be top 5 unless we have a solution in front of us that we see executed upon and we know that he's got a quarterback? The truth is he can't play ball. JJ's not involved in this conversation, unfortunately, other than to kick him out of the conversation. To me, this only leaves one player, and I haven't talked about Rice yet, but Rice, there's a little bit of a feeling of, can he consistently stay healthy, be on the field, Mahomes, all this working out, or does this guy feel like he's going to disappoint you before he ends up delivering 2-3 straight elite seasons? I don't know. You can call that a gut instinct that there's some hesitation, but only when you're comparing to Neighbors and Lamb, so to speak. I'm going to put Neighbors at number 3 without much of a hesitation at all. I think Neighbors is a fantastic fantasy football wide receiver that will end up delivering upon all the value that everybody wants in time. I think he could struggle a little bit, maybe not, in the beginning part of next year. But like Christian Watson, I think there's hope that he could absolutely deliver and crush at some point during next year, if not right away. So we'll put Neighbors right there. I do think Lamb, regardless of Pickens, still deserves to be here. I think Pickens needs to be in this conversation, not to rank 5, but to be in the conversation of not only impeding upon Lamb's value, but also that Pickens needs to be talked about at least in this range, but probably falls more toward the 6-7 territory. So Pickens, could you put him here? If you put him here, you probably couldn't have Lamb here. I think it would be something along the lines of, you're just going to bank on Pickens and Lamb's going to go 7 or 8 or something. But for me, I'm going Lamb chops at number 4. I'm just not even hesitating on that. I think Lamb is an elite wide receiver, elite caliber wide receiver. This guy's going to hold out anyway this year. It could create a lot of turmoil in Dallas. Could he even get traded on the tag? It's possible. I don't think Dallas wants to trade him on the tag. I think they want to sign him on the tag him, then sign him. I think what it comes down to here is we're chat voting this. And then St. Brown. St. Brown is the last wide receiver. London, we got to put London in this conversation too, though. London actually needs to be in the conversation. Not that we're locking him in. His situation's very volatile. His situation feels very much like Justin Jefferson's situation. Kirk Cousins isn't a long-term answer. Penix Jr. won't be available already in week 1. Will the team react in enough time to get the right signal caller back there, or are they going to wait on Penix Jr., and this is going to be a disaster of a season to start off for London in 2026? So the question is, who is number 5? I'm going to do a chat vote. I'll make a final decision and nudge somebody in the direction. If anybody wants to call on the phone line, they can. JSN 1, Jamar Chase 2, Dynasty wide receiver rankings, Neighbors 3, CeeDee Lamb 4. Travis is on the line. I want everybody to drop a 5 dash the name. Don't just put the name, put the number so that I can correlate it to the pick, because some of you are watching the stream behind and you might be voting on 3 or 2. Who is wide receiver 5 in Dynasty Fantasy Football? Maybe it's somebody you think should be 3 or 4, but you're voting on 5 because they're next up to the best player left on the side of the screen here. Vote. Is it Rice? Is it London? Is it Puka? Is it JJ? Is it Nico? Is it Pickens? Is it someone else I didn't put on screen? Like, let's say Buka or whatever. And you probably hate Buka's guts right now. Some of you do. He's still an elite wide receiver that's going to rise up and be a top 6, 7, 8 wide receiver at a bare minimum in my mind. But this probably is the group you would pick from. I doubt we get very many votes, if at all, that are not from this bucket of players sitting right here. Travis, you're live. Who is your number 5? I think it's Sun God, right? Oh, hold on, Travis. Let me turn on the speaker. My audio is having problems here. Go ahead, Travis. Who's your number 5?
I'd probably say Amon-Ra because I have him and Rice basically even. And I'll take the just week in, week out consistency of Amon-Ra and the target share. And no matter who they play, he produces.
Yeah.
I give him the edge over Rice. Me.
It's a tough one.
And I was actually a little put him in that spot coming into this year. Like he had been wide receiver 2 straight years. But I was wondering, with Ben Johnson gone, does he fall into that range? And again, I think he's wide receiver 3 or was last week, coming into the week. He's kind of situation right now.
Yeah. Kruger, how old is Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Detroit Lions, and when is his birthday? What's his birthday?
Absolutely, Smitty. Amon-Ra St. Brown is 25 years old right now, and his birthday is October 24th, 1999. So he's a Halloween season baby, and that makes him right in that prime mid-20s range.
Is that correct? 25? Kruger's so off. Let me verify with cross my AIs. Ziggy, how old is Amon-Ra St. Brown, and when's his birthday? These guys are imbeciles.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is 26 years old. His birthday is October 24th.
Is he 26? Ziggy off. He's 26. Kruger's behind.
St. Brown is indeed 26 years old.
Ziggy off. This guy's a moron, doesn't shut up, even when you tell him off. This guy is a year behind on everything. That's why I never trust. Everything. I don't know if his data hasn't.
Fair enough.
Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Turn off. So he's more accurate now. We upgraded the Zigmeister, but he doesn't shut up. Whereas Kruger, I can control him better, and Kruger's wrong. So he's 26, turning 27, right? In October. I got this is what's frustrating is I got 2 AI assistants and I'm still manually, doesn't change. I can't trust them because they make me look like a moron. I could do a whole stream going, he's 25 years old. What are you guys talking about? I could trust my AI, but I look like a complete moron. So now I have to ask them, he's 26 years old right now. He's 26, so he turns 27. So the only thing I'm going to push back on, and you're not wrong, and I'm always somebody that says, play for longer term. Don't worry about 2, 3, 4. Don't worry more than about 3, 4 years. 2, 3, 4 years. But that's still a lot. That's still a lot of age difference, between like a London who, the risk of him not shutting up. Ziggy, how old is Drake London and when is his birthday? Now he won't talk. Ziggy, how old is Drake London and when is his birthday?
Drake London is 24 years old. His birthday is July 24th.
So it's about 2 years different, but what's 2 years mean to you? It might not mean a lot. Like I had, just to put it in perspective, I had, Derrick Henry in my Dynasty league, but it was a follower league. So people always heard me like, sell Derrick Henry. I've been trying to get rid of Derrick Henry in that league for like 7 years. It realistically, the not this year, but the last year and the year before and the year before, 3 straight years I tried to get rid of Derrick Henry. I couldn't. I won 3 straight championships in Dynasty. So, thinking
That's
about
the beautiful irony of fantasy football right there. Everyone's telling you to dump the aging running back, and meanwhile, he's just casually delivering you 3 straight championships. Sometimes the best trades are the ones you never make. Derrick Henry's been defying Father Time like he's got a personal vendetta against aging. Must be all that tractor pulling in the offseason.
Not bad. Ziggy off. Not bad. It's not bad eavesdropping. Off, Ziggy. Now he's trying to steal the show.
He's just happy he's got his job back.
Yeah, but he's really hard to. I mean, interrupting like that is not only creepy, it's inappropriate. Workplace violence. Anyway, 2 years is a long time, but again, in that context, it's like I won 3 championships in a row, and I couldn't get rid of Derrick Henry for anything. So I'm probably going to sit here and say, be careful, but at the risk of, damn it. Ziggy, how old is Rashee Rice, and when is his birthday?
Rashee Rice is 25 years old. His birthday is April 22nd.
That seems Ziggy off. Thought he was a year younger than that, but that makes sense. I don't know, guys. I'm tempted to put Drake London here. I'm tempted to say, I do want to put JJ here. I just want everybody to know that if his situation changed back, like this is the number 1, number 2, or number 3 locked in wide receiver physically in the National Football League. There's no question about it. It's just we're looking at what we're looking at right now. We've seen a whole year of it. We have no idea.
JJ in London. If they had a QB, even a Darnold says QB.
Yeah.
But
London is crazy, bro. Like you look at London's game log right now, it will shock the shit out of you.
Yeah, he takes them over.
But if you look at his QB, he's QB1, QB4, QB1, QB4, QB5, like the entire season. And then he got hurt, but he also lost Penix, and then he dropped off. But like people don't realize London was literally a top 3, top 4 wide receiver almost the entire time he was on the field this year. He was unbelievable. And you have to look at his game log to see that, and you're like, holy crap. Like, you forget how dominating London was. So part of me wants to put London here. But like JJ, it's like, what are we looking at? I'm going to go Rice and St. Brown as a tie here.
That's what I am. That's my...
I know that ties are not always... Yeah. I know people don't want the tie, but the tie almost has to happen. Because next up, these guys are all so close. I don't even know. The good news is we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players on the board here. Buka's not even on the board here. This is a good dynasty wide receiver pool for 2026 and beyond. I don't think we're scraping by. You literally could have the number 2 wide receiver ranked 11 on accident here. You literally, Buka could be 5, London could be 5, Pickens could be 4, Nico could be 5 or 4, JJ could be 1. Like, this is the year to have multiple picks a little later to compile 2 wide receivers, maybe over just 1 Jamar Chase. Like, would I rather have London and Pickens over Jamar Chase? Yes. So in Dynasty, we got to look at that situation. Puka disrespect continues. Well, Britt, I explained it pretty clearly. So you can call in and debate it with us. And I'm not mad at you for your take. Your take is understandable. But I would love to hear, like, call in and tell me how I'm wrong having St. Brown and Rice over Puka. And I will literally tell you what I've already said, but I will say it in other ways to get my point across. But you can't sit here and say Puka blows away Lamb, Neighbors, Rice, or St. Brown. There's what we're doing to get these rankings cranked out here are trying to weigh the intangibles and the things that make these guys different and the obstacles that sit in front of Puka, the obstacles that sit in front of London, in front of Pickens, as he probably holds out this year, has Lamb in front of him. So how can he really ever climb 2, 4, or 3? Nico gets hurt kind of a lot. His quarterback, who knows how that's going to look. Nico could climb into that 6, 7. JJ, again, gets a quarterback. He's 1, he's 2, he's 3 overall for the wide receivers. Like I don't understand what... Puka's not getting disrespected here. It's hard to put Puka higher. You got to consider the fact that he's very much tied to Stafford. He's very injury prone, and he wants to retire early. Those are 3 very big obstacles, my boy.
And then, like you said, Puka's not on that list. I think Puka would be right on that back end, 11, 12, 13 range. And he really just profiles. And people were saying the same things about JSN. We were talking about it earlier. Same things about JSN his rookie year. Oh, he's not living up to it. It's like, DK Metcalf was there and Gino wasn't all in the right times. And then his second year, he exploded his wide receiver 9, and now he's wide receiver 1. I think Puka is going to follow very similar.
Come on, man. Is it really? Is this marker dead, or did I just dry out? Hold on a second. Jeez, completely done. Toast. I left it open and dried out the marker during the game. I usually ruin one of these markers a week, just leaving it out, and it just dries out. What I was trying to say here is that we have... You got to look at... This is going to be some stuff that I attack in the offseason a little more than normal. This kind of rationale here that we're breaking down. We have to have a scale. We have to have a risk meter. We have to have some sort of intangible exterior, environmental, coaching, injury-prone, like attachments to a player's value that drag them down or let them roam free up above where most people rank them. And with Puka Nacua, you have multiple red flags that don't knock him out of the top 10 wide receivers. I'm not a moron, but when you have one of them being Stafford, that's a huge concern for Puka's long-term value, because he just saturates the hell out of Puka. He saturated the hell out of Kupp, and you got to wonder how much of Puka Nacua is actually the product of Matthew Stafford. You also have McVay. How much is the system going to allow Stafford to do what Stafford does? And if McVay's gone, and he's contemplated retiring multiple times, if McVay's not there for whatever reason, he steps away from the game, and that could happen maybe not next year, but the next year. And then what? This is Dynasty we're talking. We're not talking 2026 redraft. So that has to be factored in to this situation. Then you have the fact that Puka is probably the most injury-prone player in the National Football League at the wide receiver position. The most injury-prone player in the National Football League. Like, we're lucky he hasn't suffered season-ending injuries. But this man puts his body on the line. These are 3 major red flags for volume and being on the field. And then number 4 would be he wants to retire really early. Jeez. Talking and writing sometimes. Ziggy, how old is Puka Nacua, and when's his birthday?
Puka Nacua is 24 years old.
When's his birthday?
Puka Nacua's birthday is May 29th.
Ziggy off. So he turns... Now, this is probably the least concerning part, because he could change his mind. Maybe he turns 30 and he still wants to play that season. So he plays next year at 25. He plays the next year at 26. He plays the next year at 27. Plays the next year at 28. Plays the next year at 29. And then he could retire at 30. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons. Like, that's a lot of time. This one concerns me the least. So wanting to retire, not really the biggest deal. because this is if he decided to step away at 29. He could turn 30 and say I'm retiring at 30, and then he plays all the way through his 30-year-old season. And how many times have people, like Tyreek Hill said he was going to retire at a certain age, and he played that next year. He got hurt, but he didn't retire when he said he was going to retire. I very much could see him trying to play. The concern I have is the injuries that will allow him to even play well at 29, 30. I think this becomes irrelevant, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe 6. That's a long time in Dynasty fantasy football. So this one right here is, I'm going to cross it out. I'm not even that worried about it. I think Puka has a greater chance of being nowhere near the same player like Cooper Kupp was at 30 years old. Cooper Kupp at 30 fell off the face of the earth because of the wear and tear, oversaturation by his environment. And so my thinking is that Puka is going to be a different player, constantly in and out of the lineup at 29, 30. So that won't even matter. That's not even going to matter. These are big concerns here. Now, you could say the same thing for Drake London in the sense that he kind of has gotten banged up and his quarterback situation's in flux. And that's why Drake London is not ranking in the top 5, even though we want to rank him in the top 5. I think this is a pretty damn good top 5 right here. Now, St. Brown's an injury-prone player too. So, Rice has got to prove to stay healthy too, but so far so good. This is it, man. This is my top 5, I think. Anybody else have any qualms with this? And again, whoever said that the disrespect to Puka continues, I'm not mad at you. I'm just merely attacking that stance and not attacking you. And honestly, I could, if you told me to, argue your side of it. That's the fun part of fantasy football. But Travis, anybody you would move drastically that's on this board or not on this board, like even if it was like you agree with everything, but you think you think that I don't know, that Lamb maybe is the least likely to regain this value or stay in this value consistently, so you'd almost just nudge everyone up and move Lamb to 7. Like what's the beef you have with this the most if you were doing it yourself and drafting off it?
No, because I said before that. I have Chase 1. I could easily argue that play. And then I have Neighbors 3. I think Lamb deserves it. I agree. And I think just outside the group we have there, Ibuka, and I think Ted McMillan deserves to be there.
Well, I think if we start moving these guys over and we say, well, who else is going to be like on the outside looking into this group, meaning that Ted McMillan and Buka aren't flirting with this here, but the in-waiting players that are flirting with this, Ted and Emeka are flirting with this holding room here. So I agree with that. I think Buka, anybody who thinks Buka isn't in this conversation is crazy. I was just saying anybody that doesn't think Buka is in this conversation is crazy. He's a rookie. He's a rookie that played better than every receiver in the league, but maybe 2 or 3 of them for a significant amount of time. So much time that, he's in a rookie wall right now, but it's not even his fault he hasn't broke through because Baker's missing him on 4 or 5 touchdowns in the last 3-4 weeks. So I don't want to hear it. Buka's an elite player that's a rookie that is so polished. He's a casual, lazy take. It's embarrassing if anybody thinks he's not an elite wide receiver in the making. Embarrassing. In fact, I probably would rank him higher than people expect privately.
Yeah, and I think only the guy like me that's a conversation, and I can't put him there with the concussions. Olave, because he's wide receiver 7. He's doing it without great quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of targets. If we see him stay healthy, do it again next year. I don't know where do you have Olave?
It's a really good question. I would say
be in the top 10 probably.
1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we got 13. Wait, hold on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, possible. So there were 13 players on screen. I think we start getting to like 15 to 20. You know, just one or two more wide receivers I probably put here, or I put him next maybe as like the 14th or 15th. I think like you get into Ladd, Olave, Metcalf, BTJ, JMO. Those are all very arguable. Any one of them could be the next one up on out of that group. Here, let me tell you about the two most disappointing players in fantasy football. A wide receiver. And these guys, and while I'm very, very eager to say the first one I drop on screen is one that I love so much, and I think that he's been getting a bad hand dealt to him, and it's going to continue. It's going to continue. I just don't see how it's going to change, but Garrett Wilson is a player that we believe in every season, and he fails us every season. And I don't know that it's going to change. I don't see how it can. MHJ, it could be another one of those players. I'm hopeful for him, but he's not here delivering. He's missing time. Our availability is the best ability, and he has none of that. And I'm growing tired waiting on him, and he's losing ground. He's losing opportunity to gain edge and advantage, and he's going to fall off the face of the earth. Garrett Wilson and MHJ are uber talented, but all I can do is smell disappointment. So I don't know.
Dunze kind of falls in behind them too. I think in the right situation. And
yeah, and BTJ, I would say BTJ certainly in this conversation too. But are we even like coming from a perspective of multiple years of believing in Wilson and multiple years of believing in MHJ now? BTJ delivered his first year, and we've only had 1 year of him falling flat on his face. So we're so down on him. I don't even know that I would consider him somebody that we're banking on or going to be mistakenly banking on next year. I'll draft him at the right spot, but I mean, I don't think anybody's going to start ranking him crazy worse.
I don't trust him if he's with the Jaguars because I don't think him Mars can get on the stage.
Yeah.
And the one other guy I was going to ask you about, and I know it really depends on what the Cardinals do and exchange everything. Michael Wilson, like, do you think there's a world where he becomes a top 20 wide receiver, like, year?
Yeah, yes and no. Yes, because this is a receiver that before they drafted MHJ that year that they drafted him, Michael Wilson in Dynasty was beloved. Like he was kind of like the JMO or the Ladd McConkey or whatever, the overrated player that I really believe deserved to be overrated in a way. But it was a tough sell that he would climb up, get the spot, be the number one. They were looking at MHJ. They were looking at drafting a receiver. And if they had not drafted MHJ, he was the bona fide one, and he would have turned into a real nice, would he have been Michael Pittman, like a wide receiver one for a team, but was he really a wide receiver one, or was he playing house as a wide receiver one and more so a wide receiver two? Like Pittman's never been an elite wide receiver one for a team. And he kind of proved us wrong this year, but then he fell back down. But that's kind of the way Wilson may or may not have turned out. We don't know. Right now with Brissett, he's a top 20, top 15 to 20 wide receiver. Like without Brissett, I don't know what he is. But connected to Brissett, if this team brings Brissett back as a starter, and honestly, do you think that that's the case? What is your expectation for the Cardinals quarterback situation?
I was going to ask you that too. I mean, he's trying to obviously. Everybody wonders if on the draft if there's one of the they pick. I think they have.
So, yeah, I mean, what's the alternative? What's all the alternative? So if Brissett stays, then Michael Wilson's a top 15 to 20 wide receiver. I don't think you can rank him higher than that, but you certainly could draft him there and then get more and be absolutely thrilled. But at the end of the day, it's like, if Brissett goes away, we have never seen Wilson do well without Brissett. And if the Cardinals aren't going to be in a good position to get a better quarterback than Brissett, so it's either Brissett or things get worse. Who are they what are they going to get? I mean, they could draft one of these rookies potentially, but they'd have to trade up probably. What's the projected pick right now?
Right now, they're projected. The projected 8. There's like 5 or 6 teams with the same record as them. Cleveland has the same record, and they're projected to 4th. So it's gonna,
Yeah.
5 to 8 range.
But they're probably gonna bring Brissett back, bridge quarterback it through Brissett, draft a rookie, and then hopefully the rookie steps up when the time's right, and we get the right one, and that would be good. And then maybe MHJ bounces back. But right now, Michael Wilson's, with Brissett probably tied to him for next year, is probably cute. And Brissett's contract is, because I told you, I don't think he's a restricted free agent. Jacoby, his contract is, he's signed through next year, so he's there. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2027. So so they'll draft a rookie or Brissett. So I mean, this upcoming season, top 15 to 20 wide receiver. And then if if the rookie's good, then awesome. If he's not, then they probably don't stick with him long. And I like Wilson. Wilson's always been a good receiver. Again, he was a dynasty darling before MHJ was drafted. He just fell to the wayside. The Briskinator is here to stay in Arizona. It's great.
He's been awesome. This maybe this is a good idea for a show at some point. People were mentioning where does Agent B go, but I think the Eagles' entire offense could be a topic.
Yeah, a dynasty Eagles. What do we predict will happen to the Eagles roster dynasty wise? It's good. It's a good topic. I like that. All right, Travis. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow. Good dynasty discussion later, bro.
Yeah. Later, bye.
All right, guys. Appreciate you all being here for the Dynasty show. The Dynasty channel is here to stay. As you can tell, we got other Dynasty content. So if you guys have not seen the Dynasty show, just so you know, the way that it works now on both this channel and the main channel and the Dynasty channel is this is how it's going to work. My channel, both my channels, this Dynasty channel and the main channel, and so specifically the Dynasty right now, on the channel you're going to see that everything is a show. So we have a running back show, and then you have these different shows: Gibbs, Bijan, Rico. What are we doing with Rico? Ryukin, Rico. And so that's then we're gonna have wide receiver shows. Okay, so there's the wide receiver show, and then we did a JJ topic, then we just did a top 5 wide receivers. Then we're gonna have a rookie show. And then the rookie show will have a rookie video on a rookie running back, and that will also be in the running back show. So everything's going to be nailed down to shows and in categories. And on my homepage, on the Dynasty YouTube homepage, you will see those shows on different rows. So go into that shelf and review any video you haven't seen yet. I'm going to be dropping I'll be dropping a show pretty much every day, whether it's a live stream or an upload on a specific player. Now tonight we did top 5 wide receivers. We usually do one player at a time. Saving fantasy football lives one player at a time is the slogan of this Dynasty channel and the main channel. And if you go to the main channel, which is youtube.com/the fantasy football show, link in description, you will also see the same pattern over on that channel. So make sure you dig into the different shows. Once you get in there, you'll see the different players, each of them having its own video, each player having their own video. So go check it out and expect this format going forward. Appreciate you all. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the main channel. I'm live whenever big news breaks on the main channel. I'm live at midnight Eastern almost every single night on the main channel. The main channel is youtube.com/the fantasy football show, or search the fantasy football show on YouTube. And then Dynasty channel, we're live or an upload like once a day. Don't forget about Rumble. We're also on Rumble. Rumble is going to have its standalone phone call show that will not be on any other platform. So in order to get it, you got to go watch it on Rumble. And Rumble's an awesome up-and-coming video platform. So hit that link. I just dropped the Rumble link. See you all tomorrow on the main channel. Dynasty Crew. Deuce. Don't forget Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Play 5, get 75. Win up to 5,000 on your money. And man, I can't real quickly. I can't tell you how excited I'm about this team that I have. And one of my best ball manias that went through. It's just an unbelievable squad. Currently in first place in my bucket, Burrow, Mahomes, and this prize right now is $70. I don't know what that. Each round you get little bits of money right as you're going. So this one right here, I believe I'm guaranteed this amount no matter what for, I think, being in this. I forget. And then if I get first, then I'm guaranteed. That's just how the money trickles in, the way that they pay you in increments of rounds. But right now I'm first in my group of 12. And so I got to go through this round. But right now off to a hot start. I got Mahomes and Burrow. Couldn't be happier about that QB. It's one QB, but to have that rotation, that bully QB going on. Bijan, Harvey, Zach Charbonnet, I'm covered at running back. JSN, Luther Burden, and then down here, Michael Wilson. Tough matchup this week. Hopefully he delivers. Kyle Pitts went crazy, 40 points. Trey McBride as well. He could be my flex play. It's 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and a flex. So McBride could be my flex. Fannin could be my flex. This is a phenomenal. This is for the $1 million prize. So get on over to Underdog if you want to do such things. Again, play 5, get 75 in bonus credit. If you're concerned about your play, please use those numbers below. Appreciate you all. See you tomorrow on the main channel and on Dynasty. Make sure you get on over to the Patreon, which is a 24/7, 365 live chat group. That link is right there. I just dropped it. The Patreon's 24/7 live chatting. I'm involved in it. It's not just about adding me. Smitty, what do you want to do here? You've asked the whole community, and I'm a part of that community, and we help answer questions, start leagues, all that stuff over on the Dynasty channel. All right, now we're out of here. Appreciate you all.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
Touchdown!